So today I'm with Chris Campbell, who's the CEO of Consulting Engineers South Africa, or CESA as they're known. Chris, before we dig down into the meat of what I'd really like to discuss with you today, maybe you can just share with us some of the details around what the role of CESA is and its functioning within South Africa, but I guess to some extent more broadly in the Southern African or even African context.
Okay, thanks Ian. Firstly, CESA, Consulting Engineers South Africa, is an organization that's been in existence for 65 years in South Africa. Its primary role, and it started as an organization for individual members. In later years, it became an organization for member companies in the business of consulting engineering. The role of CESA is really to look after the interests of the industry, the well-being of the industry, but not of necessity to protect the industry. It's really to make sure that we keep the industry honest, so that the client bodies respect what they expect from the industry. Our association is much broader than just local. We are affiliated at two levels. Firstly, to an international body based in Geneva. It's called the Federation of International Consulting Engineers, FIDIC. FIDIC is a 106 member country organization. We're probably about the 6th largest, so we do have some bragging rights. And then at a more regional level, we affiliated to the group of African member associations. And that's why the use of the word Southern Africa would be incorrect, because we do have sister organizations in our neighboring countries, Zambia, Zimbabwe, as far north as the north of Africa, Morocco, and Egypt, who recently just rejoined FIDIC.
That's very clear, and I think the most important thing that comes out of this is clearly we're speaking about a very professional organization with member companies, and its role really talks about how do we uphold that professionalism and the standing of our profession and the consulting engineering fraternity in the context of industry. But of course what now emerges, and I have to refer now to the article you wrote at the end of Electricity and Control in November, which is right at the back, where you made the comment about some of the challenges, I suppose, that the word consulting has in the present day, in particular in South Africa. Consultants per se may have developed a little bit of a bad reputation. So what I'd like you to do now is talk us through consulting engineers versus the concept of consultant, because I think very often people tend to lump these things together without understanding the specialist requirement of consulting engineers.
Ian, you're absolutely right. I think the best way of framing this is to firstly distinguish between what consulting engineers do as opposed to the generic use of the word consultant, because all too often they all get lumped into the same dilemmas that we see happening in the public space.
Yeah.
And I think that most appropriate here would be is how we want to differentiate ourselves from the best description I've seen. I passed a road stop going to Durban one day, and I stopped and I bought this little container full of what look like tablets. They're really sweets, but it's got a label on it, and it's called consultant tablets. In Afrikaans, consultant pille. And the label on it reads, take 2 of these before you meet your consultant, so that you don't allow him to borrow your watch, so that you have to ask him what's the time. That's the difference we would like to see, and the distinction between consulting engineers, who are solutions driven. They bring new insights to the engineering problem that you may have, as opposed to somebody who simply, in some instances, incorrectly does your job for you because you're supposed to have been competent enough to do it yourself, or B, sometimes provide reports which would rather not go down that alley right now. But that's the distinction essentially.
I fully understand that. So the key thing here is the separation between somebody from outside who effectively consults to do something which is, let's say, something which one could argue that organizations should be able to do themselves. Whereas a consulting engineer would bring in specialist skills, and you mentioned the word solution. the provision of a solution to a really complex problem, that come in, do that, manage that, and then step out of that process, adding that specialist input to that organization.
Yeah, that's true. I think we do have to contextualize it though. I think those of us with sufficient grey hair will remember a time when...
There are none of us here.
So there was a time when in public sector there was volumes of engineering capacity and capability internally, and the practice of consulting engineering was indeed specialist, and it was also to complement the internal capacity. That has very badly eroded over the last...
That's a very valid point, actually. You're quite right in that.
Several years, and so we do sit with a bit of a dilemma in that public sector entities do not have sufficient competent and capable engineering capacity, so they find themselves from time to time needing the services of competent engineering practitioners who have expertise in project management, so that they've got people that can help them get things going, which is slightly different to the design and analysis and project execution function, which is probably most often best done through the consulting engineer.
Yeah, I think that point's very well made. Chris, thank you very, very much for your time, and I wish your organisation all the very best. And I think the key point that comes out of this, of course, is that at this moment in this economy, the role of consulting engineers has never been as needed as it is now. I think that point is clear.
I 100% agree with you, and to that end, we as an industry have also realized that it doesn't help to try and do everything for your client. So we are on a journey of trying to help incapacitate public sector, so that at least you have a client who knows what they need and is able to manage the interests of public sector. Because without that, you would have an imbalance and constant suspicion of the motives or the quality of work that you are getting.
I fully understand. Chris, thank you very much.
Good.
All the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you.